Yo, what's up guys? I hope you're all have an amazing day and welcome to this video. Today we're going to be coaching Ludwig, and if you are unaware, Ludwig is pretty new to League of Legends and he has a challenge running with Tyler 1 where he needs to get platinum by the end of this split, so by the end of the season. And Ludwig right now, like I said, is pretty new to League of Legends. He was kind of on the fence between deciding if he wants to play top lane or jungle. And of course, as you guys know, I'm a top lane main, so we're going to be reviewing some of his top lane games, kind of help him get a blueprint on how to start approaching top lane to begin with, kind of start improving on his own term by setting up some fundamental goals, as you guys know. And honestly, I had absolute fun doing this coaching session. Let's see what Ludwig is gonna be, doing and seeing if he can get his platinum goal by the end of the season. Before we go there though, I have two technical difficulties, unfortunately, with this video. I can never run OBS and a Discord screen share at the same time with my camera, so I have to turn my camera off so I won't have a camera. And then I wasn't picking up Ludwig's voice at the start of the video. My bad for that. Okay, now let's get into it. You can walk me through it. I see you play a lot of jungle too. The first thing, especially when your goal is literally to just climb, the fastest way possible would always be that you stick to one role and then 1, 2, 3 champions in that role. So I think having that question going into today and getting that answer, I think is perfect to just give yourself a more direct path if you want to go with top lane. I think top lane, stepping stone, is more challenging because you're always going to verse an opponent. But I also think the time investment when playing top lane is more rewarding because you have more control over the game, especially when you're going to be beating your opponent consistently. There's a nuance. I think jungler has an easier stepping stone, whereas top lane is gonna, I think, give you more rewards the longer you play it and the better you get at it. I see one game here of Dr. Mundo being played. You're gonna need probably a little bit more time investment to start getting more familiar. Playing Garen and Mundo Nasus would be your best approach. For example, if you pick Gangplank as an example right now, you'd need 200 games to get the same result of playing, let's say, 20 Garen games on Garen in terms of your efficiency on that champion. So playing Garen and Mundo Nasus is going to be absolutely perfect if we stick to top lane. But that's the question we're gonna get into. I will say this in advance. I won't answer now, but you're going to need to play a lot of League of Legends to get platinum in 3 months. You're gonna have to commit. League of Legends is a game that's just gonna require you to invest your soul and the rest of your life if you want to succeed at it. Everybody knows. So check setup, and that means runes, summoners, and starting item. And then you've probably seen me do it, but you're a jungler too, so I assume you're working on this too, is see where both junglers are pathing. And then we decide, and this is also matchup dependent, of course. So good. Okay, we just get to the lane like this. This is completely fine. You actually do have a ward, so let's talk about this. The first waves are by far the most important, and generally speaking, what I want you to start learning when playing top lane, and this is going to get harder at the start, but gonna give you much greater results the longer we go, is learning to play for priority and learning to try and get our level up timers first. When playing a champion like Garen, for example, with Mundo, it's a little bit different. And this is because every champion in top lane kind of has this level 1 strength in theory. So champions that are very strong would, for example, be Darius, Urgot, Olaf, for example, and champions that are very weak is like a Nasus and a Mundo. Actually, if you're gonna play Nasus, Garen, Mundo, we probably don't want that mentality. We probably want to try and get pushed in either way, but we just want to establish how we want to approach the early game laning phase based on the champions. This is gonna come, of course, with a mixture of, again, with experience, and then the second part to that is understanding which part of the lane we're playing on right now. And what I mean with that is strong side or weak side. Are you at all familiar with these concepts or these sayings? Yes. So the way I put it as a top lane perspective is what you're saying is true. It's dependent on the jungler pretty much. So in this instance, you see that both junglers are going to be pathing towards the top lane here, right? So they're both pathing towards this side. What that means is now we're playing in a neutral position. Both junglers are coming in the top side in the early game. But let's say we see the Udyr pathing like this, and you saw that your Kayn was starting here, meaning he's gonna go into bot side. That would mean we're on the weak side position, because enemy jungler is coming into top and our jungler is going away from us. So we want to kind of think about two things in level 1. We want to think about our matchup, so the 1v1, and then we want to think about how the junglers are pathing, because those combined are going to decide kind of how we want to play our laning phase.
Okay. So you're judging it based off of the support you will have or not have.
Exactly. So, and the follow-up to that is in terms of gameplay. So let's say, in this instance, Udyr is coming into top side, and it's not in the game happening right now, but Kayn is going bot side. If you were to be fighting with your opponent here, and you would both lose 50% of your HP, your opponent would benefit simply because his jungler is topside and yours isn't. And if a opposite scenario were to happen where your jungler is coming top and his is going bot, you want to try and kind of go for these trades because you can always have some help. Makes sense, right?
I see. So you're gauging trades based off of
junglers.
The future support.
Exactly.
The junglers.
And then this is also how we want to start playing our wave states. But I think the easiest for you to start learning top lane right now is kind of defaulting into getting pushed in. Because you're not going to have to think too much about the junglers, because whenever you're getting pushed in, it should be hard to gank you in the first place. The only thing we have to start thinking about is how do we set up our reset timers again. We'll get there. I'm sure you've watched Karate Kid and you have like the wax on, wax off, this like foundation stuff, right?
Yeah.
Last hitting is that for a solo laner. If you learn to last hit properly and you do this better than your opponent, you're going to be winning lane 9 out of 10 times. Genuinely, just focusing on last hitting will already put you in a much better position. To paint it in a picture, around 15 minions is equivalent to a kill in terms of gold.
Dude, it's so hard.
It is, but you're also playing champion like Garen that kind of simplifies it by just pressing E, for example.
Yeah. But I don't know, sometimes the E misses.
Okay, this is true, especially on cannon minions. The cannon minions you can't risk with your E. This is different, but last hitting, just hyper focusing on last hitting. That is basically the first skill you want to start working towards.
Okay, yeah. Yes, last hit, yeah.
And we can make let's say a goal setting for that. So if we want to so we'll get back to this later. We're gonna talk about last hitting first. I really want to like get down and give you some like goals to work towards. So for example, if you're gonna have 75 CS at minute 10, you're having a good laning phase. Like this is very, very good for you to achieve. If you are going 70 CS at min 10, so I'm gonna say min 10 as a ballpark for you to work towards, this is going to be average. Anything above this is really good. So anything 75 above is really good. And below 70 is going to be just below average. Makes sense. So this kind of gives
How many minions will come in that time span?
I believe around 100.
Okay.
So for minute 10, it will be around 100. 6 per every... yeah, it's around 100. You can have 10 CS per minute. The average that I try to go by is that I want to have 85 CS at minute 10. So I set it for you at 75 CS. Which seems high, but if you really focus on just last hitting, I'm certain that you can really get this, especially when you're playing with teleport. Okay. And then if this becomes your main priority, I guarantee you're going to be in much better shoes. What is another thing that we can focus on consistency? You've heard me say it for sure. It's level up timers. You're familiar with this, right? Yeah.
Your first level up comes in the second wave on the first melee minion.
Okay, my man. So level 2 is first wave +1 melee minion. I will add into that. It's also first 5 minions +1 melee minion. And this is because melees give more XP. So you can have the first... Okay. Yeah, so actually 2 ways to do this. And then do you know level 3 and level 4?
No.
Okay, it's okay. And the reason why this is so important and why I just always talk about this so consistently is because in League of Legends, very few things are consistent every game. Your level up timers and your last hitting is completely in your control. That's why I just want you to focus on these things first. It's first 2 waves +2 melees, and then level 4 is first 3 waves +3 melee and 1 caster. I just want you to try... Yeah, sorry?
Well, it's not... Sorry, it doesn't matter if you kill or last hit as long as you're around them when they die, right? Like how close you have to be to get the experience.
Yeah, very good question. It's around, let's say, if this is your character, I would say if you draw a circle around you, it would probably be like, it's hard. I do it based on feeling. It would be like around this circle, all around you. Maybe even a little bit longer.
So it's not as big as your vision cone.
No, it's not as big as your vision.
But it's close. It's like 70% of it.
Yeah, it's pretty large, and you can always verify it for yourself. So if you're unsure if you're in XP range or not, you just check here if you see the bar going up or not. And these level up timers are just important to note to either get a good trade for yourself whenever you can look for priority, or just avoid getting traded by your opponent. So whenever they're level 2. So a level up timer, the reason it's so important as well is because every level up is about 600 gold worth of stats. You get an extra ability, you get some armor, magic resist damage, all that stuff. Let's say you're playing a matchup that would theoretically be losing. So right now you're playing Garen into alois. If you get your level 2 first...
Oh no.
Oh, you remember the game now?
I ban alois every time because of this game.
Okay, so this one is deep.
Oh man, I didn't realize that was this game.
That sounded really grim. Even any losing matchup can become winning if you hit your level 2 first. So I've done a lot of yapping right now. Baseline, level 1, can we get push, yes or no? Depends on your matchup. Check the junglers where they are pathing. So sometimes we're gonna have to get a ward on ourselves, for example, here. But in this instance, our teammates have done it. And then I just want to focus on last hitting. So let's see how you do.
Or where do you put the ward? Sometimes I put it by the, do you put it next to the blue? Isn't that scary to walk there?
You're gonna have to visualize a little bit. So red side, in this instance, we walk here. If your opponent is defending here, then it's very hard to get the ward down. Then I probably just don't do it. If there's nobody defending, I try to stick to this wall. And I just plant it in the vision of the blue buff. Can be over this wall, can just be a little bit closer. The main idea is just seeing the blue buff, so you can, by process of elimination, see where the jungler is starting. If he's starting blue buff, very easy. If he's not starting blue buff, you know he's starting red buff.
So you don't need to place it in a bush?
No, it doesn't have to. Like, all you need to do is just plant it so you see the blue buff. Like, it can be here, it can be here, it can, like, anywhere around this area, pretty much.
Dude, why even put a ward in a bush? Because it disappears, right? Don't you still have to sweep even if it's not in a bush?
Yes, the reason you put it in a bush, for example, there's a bush behind you in the river here, right?
Yeah.
It's so you can see if the jungler is in there, usually. Or the lane bushes here, you would do it as well to see if they're recalling or if a jungler is ganking you from the bush.
So it's just to see the vision of the bush?
Yes, exactly. So if there's a ward in the bush, you always see the vision in the bush.
Okay.
Okay. Let me see. That question caught me off guard. Not in a bad way. I just like had to think, why do you actually put it in the bush? It's such a like simple question. I just didn't think of it. Like, it's such a logical thing for me. So it's a good question. Actually, no, if you're blue side, there's 2 ways to get a ward time. So you can go from this entrance or this entrance, right? Since you're playing very weak champions like Nasus, Mundo, Garen, I would genuinely go for this approach, because it's going to give you an easier time without having to fight anybody and just get the ward down either on the Raptors or on the rep buff.
Wait, why do you say they're weak? Aren't they strong?
Garen, Mundo, and Nasus are pretty weak in the early game because their kits are not really, they're all scaling champions. So generally speaking, you're playing trade avoidant in the early game and you're just hyper focusing on last hitting and then setting up reset timers to then scale into the game and be fine. So whenever I'm playing
strong top champions like Camille and Set.
Yeah, Camille, Set, Renekton, Darius, Urgot, Olaf. These are like early game powerhouses.
Okay.
I call them like stat check champions. For example, the reason Darius is very strong. Are you familiar with Darius passive, the way it works?
I've played him once and it didn't go great. I don't know what the passive does though. No.
If you hit somebody for 5 auto attacks or abilities in a row, he gains extra damage, which is at level 1.
Oh no, I do remember this. I do remember this. Yeah.
It's 30. It's 30 damage level 1. So that's actually 3 long swords. So that's why you just cannot fight the Darius level 1. I heard from Mr. Tar himself that right now 50% of you guys are subbed and 50% aren't. So if you guys enjoyed the video, it will help me and the bro out a lot if you could consider leaving a sub and helping us to future glory together, learning fundamentals and getting him brain surgery. All right, guys. So you get the ward down here. That's all right. It's not going to help you, but it's fine. It makes you feel safer. So now the question is, do you want to look for push in level 1? Yes or no?
Okay, back up. Why will that not help me? Because then I'll know.
Okay, sorry. The reason this doesn't help you is because Udyr is here right now. So actually, you're a jungler main. If you're Udyr here, how would you path?
I would run my red buff into my Krugs, into my Raptors, into my Wolves, into my Blue, into my Gromp, and I would be at the Scuttle at 326.
There you go. Very good pathing. This is exactly the pathing I assume Udyr is going to do as well. How long does your ward last for?
I got no fucking clue.
90 seconds. So if we calculate from here...
That's it?
Yeah, it's just 90 seconds. That's why this ward basically doesn't help you.
What a stupid ward then.
No, it's a good question. But it's actually important to notice too, because let's say you put a ward down here at level 1, right? Very often, your ward will actually expire before the Udyr is topside. And that is because it only lasts for 90 seconds. Depending on how fast the jungler clears, very often the ward will actually be gone, but then you still have a pretty accurate idea of where the jungler is at.
Is it not better than to try to place it near wolves?
Yes. I guess you can, but then you also have to go way deeper, right? So then you'd have to go all the way here, I guess, or all the way here, which you could if you have the safety. But then the counter argument to that is this ward is better if he is starting red buff. But what if he's starting blue buff? You'd rather have it on the blue buff then, right? So
Yeah, I would.
The consistency is to just put it on the blue buff. Again, I will just tell you from a baseline perspective is when starting off with top lane right now, I would prefer you to learn to get pushed in because it's gonna make last hitting a little bit like easier, not under, well, it's kind of nuanced, but you're not going to be under pressure of deciding wave crashes and dealing with early ganks. But the longer you play top lane, I do want to learn to play for priority, and that is so that we can make use of getting our level up timers faster. But just to get more, like an easier, not necessarily easier, just a more chill approach to top lane is to try and just get pushed in, so you're not going to get into a position where you instantly lose the early game. That has become because...
I think I tried to push it. And tried to get the wave to bounce back.
So that would be a perfect idea because of the starting that's happening. So I would do the exact same thing in your shoes here into Alawi. First of all, Alawi isn't the strongest early game champion. That is a knowledge thing, of course, right? And then this would be perfect with the jungle pathing. Because if both jungles are coming top lane here, and if you do an early game crash and the wave bounces back into you, that does two things. It makes sure that you are not gankable, because you're not forced to walk up for last hits, and it makes your opponent gankable because he is. So I would do the exact same thing in your shoes. The only thing I changed then is to go E-start.
But op.gg said Q.
Oh yeah, but op.gg, see, okay, if we're going to dive into analytics, that's different. I go E-start if I want to look for priority level 1.
So you almost like adapt.
League of Legends, all of it is adapting. We're gonna hear that a lot. Everything, so that's the hard part sometimes with the coaching League of Legends, is that so much of League of Legends is experience based. So you need to learn champions kits, you need to have had some experience in getting trade patterns in. This is also why I recommend being a one trick, because then you speed up the progression curve of getting experience. For example, if you play Garen into Alawi and this is the first time you're playing the matchup, you have no idea what you have to do. If this is your 10th time playing the matchup, you already be way more comfortable with approaching this game, right? The same goes for your opponent. So if you're a one trick, you're playing against somebody that's first time as champion, you're always going to be in a better position because of past experiences. And then it's a matter of adapting. What I mean with that is that when you load it into the game, you saw that this matchup on average is 40% chance for you to win, right? Theory.
Yeah.
And analytics. But execution is always going to be different, because you could be a Garen that plays super aggressive and wins the laning phase. Or you could be playing against an Alawi that is going to play completely different, right? You could play against an Alawi that goes W start and plays super aggressive, or you play against an Alawi that goes with Q and stands behind his minions. So this is why I, generally speaking, always have the mentality I just want to learn for you to be adaptive instead of getting locked in with certain things. The only thing I would do here, and that's a habit I'm going to ingrain for you as well, regardless if you're going to be jungling or top laning, anytime you see a champion on the map, I want you to press tab. Level 1, so you know what item he has, but also before any skirmish, let's say you about to fight grubs and there's a jungler, or you're about to get ganked, I want you to press tab first, check the items, and kind of gauge how strong your opponent is. Is that the way to say it, by the way, gauge? Or how do you pronounce that word?
What? Which word? Engage?
No, gauge, or how do you...
Yeah, gauge.
Okay,
yeah,
perfect,
gauge.
perfect. So here, she's playing with a Doran's Blade. That already kind of makes me think she wants to play a little bit more aggressive. That's it. Okay, this is a fine trade. And so here, your tendency was to go for the trade. It's completely fine. 2 for 2 for last hit. So, I mean, that's for so good. So for
yeah, I think my thought process was I will hit her with my Q, and then I'll go last hit my minion. So every time my Q's up, I'll just chase her down with a Q, and then I go hit my minion.
Okay, that's completely fine. Multiple reasons why I believe that is fine. You have way better sustain through your passive, through your D-shoot, and early game traits like that are just completely fine for you. And you've also looked for priority. But here you see, for example, so I'm gonna go into the nitty-gritty here. So okay, we can talk about that too. Are you familiar at all with Alawi's kit? Like how her abilities work? No, her kit, like how her abilities work.
Yeah. She's got like tentacles. And you want to not get hit by them, and then she's got one move that makes like what do you call them, like a little ventriloquist doll, like it makes a doll out of you, and then she hits you in the doll form. Yeah. And then she has another move. I don't know what it does though.
Okay, do you know how the tentacles activate? So like when they're
just like AI.
No, it's actually when she lands this ability on you right here, the slam ability, that any tentacle nearby will hit you. So here, when it's her W, when she does this jumping animation, all tentacles will activate. And they'll hit you in your last direction. So for the future, if you see a W start Alawi, you just want to hit her and walk out of the tentacle. Because you can just sidestep these if you basically start moving the second she impacts you. You dodge it 100% of the time. But that's okay. I don't want to talk detail too much about micro. I want to talk mainly about your intentions. So here, when we're looking at the wave state, what I'm noticing is that we have priority in the sense that you have killed more minions than she has right now. Yes, if we take a look at this, you still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minions of wave 1. And for her, there's only 4 left, as you can see. Yeah. It's a little bit harder to spot, but the reason why it's so easy is because you just look at the second line of melee minions that are like right here. Right? So you're actually having priority, which means you can get your level up timer faster here. That's all we need to know. Just a level up. So here, another caster dies, another melee dies. And remember what I told you is that you can actually get your level 2 from just 5 minions and 1 melee. So you don't actually need both of these casters to die. You just need 1 to die and 1 melee, and you would get your level 2 as well. Just theoretically here. Okay, so let's see what ends up happening. So you're standing behind here. You're getting another Q trade-off, which is good. And now you're hitting this melee minion, and as you can see, this melee is going to die, and you would get your level 2 from this melee minion. But if you had full awareness of this, you could already win your lane right here.
Because I could have been more aggressive. You could have passive.
Exactly. You should be standing right here right now with your E. You would just press auto attack E, follow her with another Q, and she would be around here.
And that'd be so good for me, because then she just had to play under tower.
Exactly. And you win your lane. That's it. All we had to do was know these lines right here.
That's not how it goes. That's not what happens.
That's okay. And see, this is what's gonna be your... Oh, I don't know what happened there. Your main priority for, let's say, your next 100 games when playing top lane is literally asking yourself, do I play for priority level 1? Yes or no? In the end, I want you to learn to play for priority because that is going to give you the opportunity to look for these level up timers. And then the second step towards that is be ready exactly when you're going to get your level up and try to look for the trade. If you do those 2 things, you're going to be in a much better position 10 out of 10 times.
For practicing last hits, do you do it just by playing the game? Or do you go to training mode and just last hit them?
Interesting. So if I was in your shoes right now, I think it's okay to do a mix. So I would just play your games normally, but maybe before you go into your game, you go into one mode of like practice 2, and you just farm minions on all 3 waves. So you just play your lane normally, you go to top lane, and then you know like the other lanes are gonna get pushing as well, right? So then you just teleport to another lane quickly, and you farm the last hits there too, especially when a wave gets under your turret. Because that's probably where you struggle the most with last hitting, with the turret, right?
Yeah. Well, because I know you get the melee ones are easy because they take 2 shots and then you can hit them. But then your minions start fucking it all up because if they just weren't hitting them, then it would be easier.
Yes.
And then the mage ones blow because you have to like hit them, then the tower hits them, then you hit them at a lower level. But I don't know which one the tower is gonna pick. The tower doesn't make any sense. Like I don't know how it decides who to shoot.
Okay, so the order of that is always cannons into melees into casters. That's always a given. So we'll always focus the cannon first, then the melees and the caster, and then it's a matter of range. There is sometimes it's a little bit mixed, but there is always an order. I think the way I would approach it for you is to actually I could show you quickly instead. Is just go into a custom like the practice 2. Well, let's say you're playing Garen or playing Mundo. You don't use any abilities. You don't, I mean, you can buy your Doran's item. I would just buy your Doran's item, and then I would just let all 3 waves get pushed, and then you just TP to the other lanes and learn to farm on it like that. I think that's probably the best approach to get the habit or like the, I guess the muscle memory in there and understanding the timers a little bit better. And what I would do now is just wait here, let all the minions come, play top lane normally, so you just farm. And then the other lanes are eventually going to get pushed into your turret as well. And whenever it's under your turret, I would just shift S there and then start last hitting here. And you do that for 10 minutes, you should be warmed up. That's what I would do. And then pair that, of course, with playing your normal games. So whenever you're playing here. Because your early last hitting here looked completely fine to me. I think it just gets harder because you have to start focusing on a lot more like your abilities, trade patterns, and all this stuff, right? So the more you play your champion as well, the easier that is kind of going to become for you because you don't have to right now, you're completely new to top lane. You have to think about everything at once, like the champions, their abilities, your abilities, jungle pathing, early game crashes, all that stuff. It's kind of too much. So that's why just focusing on last hits, level up timers, and your champion right now. That's why I also recommend playing lower champions. It's just gonna make that process easier. Okay, so let's see from here. So I think, why don't we commit to this trade, for example? You're scared.
I'm a little scared. Yeah, she scares me.
That's fine.
I'm scared of powerful women.
I think it's a combination here of the unknown. Theoretically here, all I'm saying is level 2, level 1. Even the powerful women
number.
won't beat you.
You double it.
Yep. So level ups, that's all you gotta remember. Level up timers, they give you infinite strength. It was still a good trade though. So I'm very curious what's gonna happen here, because I see you walking up. Okay, we're not walking up. Yeah, I would want to press QE onto her again. You were very aggressive in the early game. Let's see what you do from that point out.
But she starts sprouting a bunch of tentacles around me.
Yes.
I thought I dodged it.
You did. You dodged
I don't know
both
who
times.
the she's hitting.
No,
but she's hitting someone.
Yes, so that's like the ventriloquist thing you said. So this is her E ability. So she basically, in a straight line, lunges. It's a skill shot actually, and if it lands onto you, she spawns like a copy of you, and the copy will actually make the tentacles hit once first, and now she hits W onto the on the copy again. So you see the tentacles hit again. You've dodged both. This was a very good trade by you. You've done completely fine. So I wonder where this is gonna go wrong. I mean, I am noticing this, you know, like, it sucks to see, but it's okay.
Yeah.
It happens to the best of us.
I lost track.
Okay, so you get your level 3, you're looking for a trade. Very good. Deny her damage. Pop your potion and you're in a completely fine spot here. So what's one benefit of your position here?
I have more minions than she has minions, so the wave's gonna crash into her tower.
Yep, that's one. So you have more minions. And what does that lead to? You get your level 4 faster as well. This is how I want you to start thinking. Which means that if you get your level 4, you can just kill her. And out of habit here, especially when you're just low HP, just pop your potion. You just want to get as high SP as you can in general, so that you can always approach the wave. So here, you're actually gonna hit your level 4 right there. So you pop your W. What do you mean this goes wrong, man? You just abused your level 4 level up timer. Well done. Completely intentional too. I saw it. Look at this.
Yeah, you know, I knew
the caster minion, 3 melees, 1 caster, boom, level 4. Didn't use the level up, that's okay. And use the level up timer. You want to look at one detail here. Take a look at your HP, okay? With me. 366. Look at your HP the second you hit your level up. So here, you're 400. You see how you got like 100 extra HP, pretty much?
Yeah.
That's what that level up does. With the point of your ability, so you're much stronger.
If you level up your spell while using it, does it count?
Ooh, no, I believe it doesn't. Not when it's already casting.
So when you hit your level up timer, do you level up then use your spell?
Yes.
Like, does it matter that much, like a level 2E versus a level 1E?
In this instance, no, because you were in lethal range regardless. In some instances, yes, absolutely. But I think here at this point, like, that's too far already. Just knowing your level up timer is going to be perfect. Actually, I want to see, how do you use your level up? Do you press the control or do you click it?
I control.
Okay, very good. So that's already very good. That's a good habit. And now we talked about this in the early game, right? Udyr is top side. But we knew this was very likely gonna happen because he's pathing to top lane. Kayn is there. 2. The only thing is you just gotta use your W and you live.
Bro, why the f did I get stunned?
Because he hit.
Cringe.
You know the champion? You know Udyr a little bit? No, actually, I mean, it was a Bluetooth hit.
That's a fluke. I thought I flashed that.
You did?
Did he read the flash?
No, so if you flashed a tiny frame too late, you flashed a little bit earlier. This is what we refer to as a Bluetooth auto attack. It's just the second he kind of targets you, you just flash too late. That was what it boils down to. You just flash a little bit too late. I do see where it's gonna go wrong for you now, though. But I want to circle back here. I think there were multiple things that went very well here for you. So you looked for equal health trades. We said we benefit because of our passive. Because you had priority, you got your level ups faster. So this trade, I believe, was fine. You moved the tentacles around well. Here, you look for your level 3, right? So you got your level 3 here. I see you pointing your ability. Again, we don't talk about the cannon minion, but your intention here of getting a level 3 and looking for a trade is very good, right? You get the good trade in, and now, absolute classic, you use your level 4 and you get the solo kill. That's the reason why this laning phase actually went good for you. Regarding anything else, just using those level ups put you in this spot. So I think that's very important to highlight. Now I do want to talk a bit more about trade intentions though, because in the hindsight is good, but I believe that if you just hyper focus on last hitting, like for example, these trades were good, but now from this point onwards, how I would want you to kind of play this game instead is when you're level 2 to level 1, and this it's gonna be like this almost every time, is I want you to just have a little bit more aggressive posture, so you always have free access to last hitting. And then whenever your opponent is going to walk up for a last hit, that's when you punish. Because right now, you see very often you're kind of, we're going to see it here. You have to walk all the way from here to try and kind of approach the trade. Here we actually walk away. But the same concept is happening here, where you see you're sending quite far back instead of standing with the last hit. So after these last hits, kind of walking, I guess you're walking to this last hit. Okay, never mind. I see kind of what your intentions were here. But generally speaking, I just want you to learn to play kind of with the minion line.
Can you rewind 5 seconds?
Yeah. Like here?
Can you look at this? No, sorry. It would just you keep playing. You can play it from here. Yeah, this is fine. What, bro? What is up with that bullshit E move? Because I have the E going, and then I don't get the kill on the sorcerer minion.
Wait, which one are you referring to? Okay, I mean, so okay, that's a.
What is that?
You're just out of the range here. Actually, it's
now
just out of range.
You're paid by Riot Games, bro. You're paid
okay. Here you are in range, but I think so. It goes in circles, right? Right now you're not spinning on the minion, and okay, never mind. This one should definitely. Okay, I'll be honest. I don't know what happened here, man. That was in range.
This happens with my Garen E and my fiddlesticks suck. Is that bro, I'm sucking wave down and I don't get any of the last hits and I end up with 30 CS by minute 10 and I look like an asshole. Yeah, that might be something outside of my abilities, but you know,
I think it's a skill issue. That's all I'm kind of thinking here.
Unlikely. It's probably champion gap.
Okay, that's champion, yeah. Well, nice solo kill.
I mean, the lane starts great. Yep, yes. Starts great.
And now, I'm gonna just show you one thing as to why I already know this game is gonna turn dark for you or grim for you. And that's because this wave is gonna get frozen here. So you see here, this wave is actually not gonna hit into this turret. Now, why do I know this instantly? Is whenever I want to decide to slow push or hard push a wave in general, what I actually do is I check my own minimap to see where my next wave is at. So you can see it here now, right? And this, of course, is also where enemy minion wave is going to be at. Thus, this wave will never crash into the turret. So it's kind of stuck here. So if Udyr wasn't here...
Unless I were able to push it.
Exactly. But now since Udyr is here, it's going to freeze here, meaning you're going to lose a full minion wave already. We die. Your purchase is correct. But now the wave is pushing away from you, right?
Yeah.
And I would want to teleport, just for that reason. So golden rule of thumb is you want to set up your reset timers. So when we're talking about reset timers, you want to reset, preferably after crashing a wave, so whenever the wave will bounce back towards you.
So it's only considered crashing when it's under their turret?
Yes, when it's actually crashing in their turret as well. That's what I would refer to as a crash. So if it crashes onto his next minion wave, it's not really a crash. It would be like a bad crash. You want it to actually crash into his turret. So here, I would want you to teleport because the wave is slow pushing away from you. So the longer you wait with getting into lane, the more you're losing. And as we can see right here, we've already lost pretty much a full wave.
But who's getting rid of the wave?
The minions, your minions. Look, if we look back,
doing that?
It's because you see here you have a giant wave, right? So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 minions, and then on the next wave, you're getting a full wave, but he's getting a full wave as well. But there's all these minions still here. So you have pretty much 2 minion waves against 1 right now. So the longer you're gone from here, the more minions you're losing out on. But this concept.
But what did I do wrong? In the lead up to this lane being so. It seems like my only sin was getting a solo kill.
Yeah, okay. Like, you are the victim here by jungle gank, right? Ultimately. Honestly, there is very little you could have done here to circumvent this. Even if you live, this wave state is going to end up being in this position. But it's not terrible as long as you TP back as soon as possible.
My logic for TPs has always been like, if they're gonna go under my tower, I need my TP. And so I was like, well, I can run up because the lane is so far out, but I didn't think of all the missed opportunities. You know what I mean? Like I felt like there was less urgency, so I didn't teleport.
Yeah, but this is a very logical statement, but it's important to understand that the reverse is true, because when the wave is pushing, so you're saying you want to keep your teleport in the instance that you die and there's going to be a wave under your turret.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing. Obviously, there's going to be minions here, but actually, if I can ask you, and you're going to have to visualize it now, what happens after a minion wave crashed into your turret? Generally speaking, without any interaction, just minions. What happens with the wave state after there's an enemy minion wave dying under your turret?
There'll be then it'll start going towards my opponent's turret.
Exactly.
It'll crash. It'll bounce towards my opponent's turret.
Perfect. Very good. And this is exactly why you want to teleport, because again, we want to avoid scenarios where we're not in lane and the wave is bouncing away from us. So here
we hate bouncing.
We hate bounces away from us because you're losing resources pretty much until it comes back into us. So here, we have a bounce scenario. You see the wave is pushing away from you, and it's actually a freeze for the alois. So I want you to teleport here, because we've already lost most of this wave, but the longer you wait, you're gonna lose this wave too. Okay. We don't want that.
Yeah.
So this is why we teleport in these scenarios. Perfect. I just want you to understand the theoretical approach. Oh, okay, looks like Alawi said, fuck all that. I'm pushing the wave anyways. You know, we just thank Alawi here, because she didn't want to freeze. She was too impatient. That's all good. You're gonna have these scenarios, and it's completely fine. What's one habit I told you at the start that I want you to do every time we get back to our lane?
I tab and check their items.
Yes, sir. There we go. She has a longsword. That's all we need to know. Now, what do you take with that? That means she has no sustain. Also, actually, let me take a look at your purchase. I'm gonna right now say, and this might be controversial, but it's actually true, don't buy pink wards. You don't have to. I think they're gonna be a waste of gold for you in the general sense. You're not gonna be...
Can I hit you with a counter argument?
Sure.
After a game, what do? You check the graphs. And if every stat is at least I can hold on to the fact that my vision score was high.
Okay, listen. We're gonna improve every stat and prove that vision does not matter at all. I need you to get some confidence, Ludwig. What is this? You're saying you want to buy a pink word because else you look bad?
Yeah.
No, that's not the way we're gonna do this. I want you to buy a longsword here and a potion. And the reason we do that is that when we get back to lane here and we see that Alawi does not have potions, we can have the opportunity to look for equal health traits, which are always going to benefit you.
Buy that green potion?
If you can, yes. If not, I would want you to just buy one potion here. I don't want you to start like spending all your investments on health potions. That's not the instance, but just one potion here, especially in the early game, is super good. Past, let's say, level 8, level 9, I don't want you to be buying potions anymore, but in the early game, potions are actually very good, because for 50 gold, you gain 120 over time HP, which is a very good stat. Because one ruby crystal...
Stay in the field longer.
Yeah, for 400 gold is 150 HP, but it's permanent, of course, right? So it's much better, but you see here, for 50 gold, you basically get the stats of a ruby crystal, almost.
Right, I see, for that one.
Yeah, so what you do here is buy one potion, and with Alawi just having a Doran's Blade and a longsword, and you would have a potion, is you trade equal HP with her. You drop her to have HP, you drop to have HP. You pop the potion, and you get lane control again, because you're always going to have a higher HP. That means you get wave control, that means you can decide the crashes, that means you get good reset timers, all that good stuff. So, no talking about the graph and looking better, man, that's just cosmetic. We don't care about that. What's happening with the wave set right now?
It is coming towards me.
Yes. What is your mentality with that? Okay, so you want to flip
that? I'm gonna flip that shit.
Okay.
Flip that shit.
So
I have one mentality when I'm top. Push.
All right. We're gonna. So okay. So generally speaking, I don't want to contest bounces unless I'm stronger than my opponent. Stronger in level up, stronger in items, stronger with the jungle presence, stronger in summoners. I don't feel we've met any of those conditions here. We're equal in items because you bought boots and a longsword, which is fine. Actually, it's the purchase I would go for as well. But I'm scared of her hitting potentially level 5 from these minions, plus her having a bigger minion wave already.
My thought process, I solo killed her. I am just better than her.
Bro, you have 9 CS a minute for. Calm down, man. You're not him, okay? Chill down. No, but so yeah. What I'm thinking about here... Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Is that we have to start kind of... So you understand the theory that whenever the wave crashes into your turret, you're going to have to play the bounce afterwards. And I always, and you're going to play Garen Nass's Mundo, want to be healthy enough to play out those bounces, because those are going to be the scenarios where you are going to be vulnerable to either a 1v1 or the gank. Because whilst the wave is pushing towards you, right, you're never forced to walk up for last hits as it's coming towards you anyways. When the wave pushes back towards your opponent, you are going to be forced to either trade or push the wave. So I more so just want to make sure that I can always play the bounces, which can lead to my reset timers, and then you're always going to be at least even or consistent. If you're last hitting better, you're going to be ahead. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
That's a very important concept that I want you to start internalizing, especially with the champion pool that you're playing. Because if you're going to be going even as a Garen or as a Mundo, you will be outscaling 80% of your opponents. So here, the more trades you do right now, the harder you might make it for yourself to get the eventual bounce out again. Let's see how this progresses now. I want to see you play.
Just focusing on my last hits, really.
Okay, that's good. I thought, okay, this is good. She hit level 5, right? So I don't want to trade here already. Remember, what does it mean when she gets a level 5? She gets 600 gold worth of stats. So you can pretty much see that as like 2 extra longswords in her inventory almost here.
Yeah.
So I don't want to trade here. Plus the minion damage, right? So now, this was, it was not even that bad of a trade until this happened. Up until here, it was a fine trade. I would say it's a little bit less than an equal health trade. But again, here, if you had a potion, it would be probably all right. All good, though. Okay. So this last hit is illegal. We don't need this. in the sense
What
that...
do you mean? It's a melee minion.
Yeah, it is, but if you lose more than half your HP right now, which we've already lost, how are you going to be able to play out the bounce, buddy? So sometimes you just got to take one step back in order to go like 2 steps forward in advance, because the wave is coming towards you anyways, and I don't want to risk losing all of this for little Timmy right here.
Okay, it's pretty smart thinking.
Okay, let's see. Because if you lose more HP... Okay, you are not backing down.
Okay, my logic was if I Q her, then she can't do anything. What I didn't know is that this witch of a woman can make a ventriloquist doll of me and then just beat on my ass when I'm not even there.
I see. That's fine.
Mr. Cannon.
Yeah, didn't want to mention it, but just coming back to like the theoretical play, right? Do you see how hard you made the game for yourself with your own actions, not necessarily allow you doing anything special?
Yeah, it was almost like a horniness that we witnessed over
Bro,
engaging in last hits.
Yes. So it's like, if we just play to these things, the level ups, and look to play for the reset timers, you're gonna be in a good spot, and not all that like witch stuff and all this trading stuff and like looking good paired with the pink ward. Like, you're kind of like talking, like you're also playing counterintuitive to what you're saying. Like, you're gonna get a pink ward and then trade like this. It's pretty aggressive. So now you see 2 things happen. First of all, if enemy jungle is topside right now, you would risk getting dove. I know your jungle tracking is okay. Actually, that's one thing I didn't even mention at all. But one reason as to why you could potentially contest this is because you know that after Udyr gank top, he's going back into a bot side, right? Same as Kayn is gonna go back into bot side this game. Yeah,
if I'm being totally transparent, just thinking about hitting my opponent and last hitting is enough to fill my brain.
That's fine.
I haven't
by the way.
even considered what Udyr is doing.
No, but that's completely fine. And to be fair, I think that's even normal. But after Udyr full cleared into top, as he did this game, he's gonna go reset and go back into bot. That's just very standard. If you were to put yourself in Udyr's shoes, you basically described the exact pathing that he's doing. And after you took the scuttle, if you're Udyr, where are you gonna go? Back to bot side, right? Because those were where your camps are at. Okay.
Never going bot.
Yeah. I think if you switch your mentality to just 2 things, or 3 things. Playing for level ups, playing for high CS. No, so sorry, let's revert that. Playing for high CS, playing for level ups, and playing to set up your reset timers, you're going to be hitting at least gold with those 3 things.
Okay.
You don't necessarily have to kill your opponent, especially when you're playing Mundo, to get success. But now every main here is hard for you because of how much HP we lost, paired with the fact that the bounce here is going to be pretty hard for you to play out. Yeah, she hits a few E's.
Here I am, a humble farmer, just getting f***ed on by an alois who's hitting me, and I'm not even there. I'm not even there getting hit. Like, what is this bullshit?
She landed an E here. So the way okay, this hitbox, I will say, is pretty...
One of the fucking worst hitboxes in the entire game.
It is. It's like, it's almost... I would always say it's racist here. I don't know what this is. This is crazy hitbox. The only thing you do, stand behind your minions. Just stand here, you're gonna be fine. To be fair, you were almost behind your minions, but not quite. Okay, yeah.
What was that? I'm directly... Nah, man, that's bend it like Beckham.
But you're fine. This trade actually isn't that bad for you. All I would just do is press your W. Maybe one thing to consider here is basing and teleporting back, and you're fine.
Buy a magic cloak, get a 1v2. Sorry, okay.
No, just buy a dagger. Just buy a dagger. Okay, so she hit level 6. That means we're not fighting, right?
Yeah, 6 is scary. 6 is all.
Okay. And she's probably gonna try and set up a reset. The reason I believe she's setting up a reset is for 2 reasons. She's pretty low mana. She hasn't reset in quite a while, and the wave is gonna push back towards her, right? So the same reason why we said we want to reset whenever we've crashed the wave into her turret. That's when we want to start looking for that. So you should...
Those last hits are impossible! I'm sorry,
okay,
I'm getting mad watching.
Okay, let's watch this. Like, I could try and see if I can, like, micromanage how you should get these last hits. So what you could have just done here is just stand in this whole wave right now and just press your E, and then Q this melee, and Q the cannon. And if that's not the case, I would auto-Q this right now, so Q, and then press E, and you get at least 2 out of 3. So just press Q and then E.
Your E's are different, man. You got I swear they are coded different than the rest of us.
And now it's gonna hit this. This one you couldn't have had. This one you also couldn't have had. I agree. This one auto Q, you're good. I mean, buddy. What should be our main goal here? Just to try and challenge your thinking now.
Right here, what would I do, man? You know, just based off level ups, and I don't want this wave bouncing away from me. I probably freeze the wave back, get my health back, TP back to lane, maybe get an extra sword in there, you know. Maybe a pot.
I feel like she's said a lot of things. First things first, what's happening with the wave right now?
My wave's kind of pushing in a her wave, but I think it's like somewhat equal.
Yeah, it looks equal, it's not equal. That's because of the position of the lane. So top lane, similar with bot lane, is a long lane. So this is the center, right? This is your side. This is his side. Or her side in this instance. If you're playing in this side of the lane, what's gonna happen is that this next minion wave, your minion wave, is always going to arrive much faster than his minion wave. So by default, you said this earlier, after the wave crashed into your turret, which was the instance here, it's always bouncing to your opponent.
There's no way to stop it.
There's no way to stop it. You cannot stop this. Your next wave is always arriving faster. This is always pushing to your opponent. There's zero chance to freeze this ever. Because as you see right here, his minions are gonna die, and your 3 casters, perhaps 1 melee, will stay alive at least. Meaning on the next wave, you're gonna have 6 plus 3 casters, whilst he's only gonna have 6. So your goal here should be to try and hard push this as fast as possible. Also, I think you're too obsessed with getting those tentacles. That is...
Dude, it is an emotional thing because what they do to me.
That's
I feel
fair.
like I'm in a freak horror anime.
So what you should have noticed here is alois crashed the wave into your turret. It's pretty low mana, pretty low on resources, and is walking into this bush. To me, this is a till sign she's looking to set up a reset. So all I want you to think about is her looking to reset. I want you to look for your reset.
So I push as fast as possible and then reset.
There you go. And you can choose to either slow push this wave, hard push next wave, but I, in your shoes right here, would instantly stand in the center, press E, and you get to crash this before this wave arrives, because as you can see, it's very far away. And then you're fine. Wave bounces back into you, you're not forced to walk up for last hits, and you're good again. Right, so that's all I want to do. I just want to push this wave, get it to crash, and make it bounce back towards you. That's all I want to do continuously, and just farm even.
16 CS at minute 6. Bro, I'm not gonna hit silver in 8 months. What the
Yeah, see, this shoe eating thing that somebody said, I'm kind of seeing where he's coming from, but I have full faith that if you full lock in and one trick and start using level up timers, you're gonna prove them wrong.
Thanks, coach.
There we go.
What's one thing we forget? We forget that if you are not close, you don't get the EXP.
I just want you to like it. It's like a habit thing.
Oh, tab.
Yes, I want to see her items. I need to see how strong she is. I have no idea how strong she is right now. I don't know what items she bought. I don't know if she's gonna one-shot me, yes or no. We're playing blindfolded here. Okay, she dealt a lot of damage.
To be honest, I just believe in my heart that she isn't strong. Dude, she hits me for so much and I'm not even there. God, okay, I'm sorry.
That's this thing. As long as that's there, you're getting damage.
Some moves.
Okay, you just gotta run away now. You got teleport and we're chilling. You can use your W whenever you're taking damage. Do you know how your W works? Just to verify.
Yeah, it's like a little shield, and then does it spell block or is it just a shield?
No, it's actually it's a very overtuned ability. It gives you a shield, but it also gives you damage reduction for 4 seconds.
Oh.
So you actually, whenever you're about to take like a lot of damage, you use your W to block the shield, but also for further damage. So whenever she lands an E, just press W. And lastly, there's one add to that as well. It gives you 75% tenacity for 0.6 seconds. So whenever you're about to get hit with any ability, let's say like a Morgana Q or like Twisted Fate Gold card, and you use your W exactly on that timer, you barely will get CC'd because you have almost full tenacity. Or sorry, you have 75%. Okay. Wave is coming back towards you. That means we can actually base teleport, right? You see the wave is pushing back towards you here. Why? Because it's at her side of the lane. So her minions will stay alive. So you actually are not forced to walk up for last hits. All you should do here is press W and you can just set up your reset. All's good.
Well, my jungler was here.
I see.
My jungler was here.
I don't think he's helping you in this instance. Okay, no, you base TP. Very good. So, to be fair, this game, and I mean that, I don't feel like you've done anything special, neither has alois. But if you just locked in on farming this game, just only last thing, do you see how much of a difference that would have made? You're trying to fight too much. You're trying to do too much.
I would have had so much more money, bro.
Yes.
Dude, okay. No, it's stupid. It's stupid. Man, it's stupid. I feel like if I fuck them, then they're fucked. But what actually happens is I fuck them and then I get fucked. And cause I think in my head like, oh, I'll hit them, I'll trade them, and then they'll be rattled and they won't know how to last hit. But then I don't get my last hits. That happens a lot.
The way I put this is kill mentality. You just have a kill mentality, but you don't need to.
Yeah, you know what you do that I am terrified to do, but I want to learn how to do is proxy.
Yes, that's okay. So see, I wanted to mention this earlier. Proxy it basically means having tempo over your opponent to not give them an opportunity to kind of play against it. When can you proxy? It's when you know mainly that enemy jungler is not going to be there to scoop you up. So here, if you were to think that this Udyr is not here right now, if you would teleport back, you would be able to crash this wave into your opponent's turret, right? If you would teleport back. After you've crashed this full wave into your opponent's turret, you can just simply walk past it and proxy the next wave because alois is forced to catch 2 waves under her turret. That's how you do it.
But what if alois just walks back and then kills you?
If she, so let's say you start proxying, right? And she's gonna walk after you. All you do is you simply start waddling away because she's losing 2 waves under her turret, so you're basically getting a solo kill.
Is it still worth it if she kills me as I'm waddling away?
That's situation to situation, but if alois walks past you, or like after you, and you somehow manage dying to the alois 1v1, I think you're doing something horribly wrong. If it's not an alois, right? Let's say it's like a Camille and that happens, it could actually be worth it, but that is because what happens after you crash this turret and you're gonna proxy and you leave it, it's gonna bounce back towards you, right?
Yes, it'll bounce back towards me and she will have missed like a wave.
So she would have missed a wave, but while she's chasing you, she's probably losing an extra wave. So let's say she loses 2 waves and you end up dying, but you're gonna come back to a great wave position. You probably didn't lose anything. It's situation to situation. It can be good. I would have to see your situation in order for me to make a final judgment.
I've never gone for a proxy. I'm just wondering. It scares me genuinely.
I think if we ever do a live game, I can give you the feeling as to when a proxy is going to be good. So live game means like I'm coaching you whilst you're playing, because then you can get like a better feeling of the angles of when you have the. It all comes down to tempo. Here your reset is perfect by the way, because the wave is pushing towards you. You're forced to walk up for last hits. You've bought the Tiamat, and you get a gank, and we run away. Alright, this one is too in depth for me. Why did we run away, boss? What happened here?
I don't know. Wait, keep playing. What happens?
Oh, never mind. Okay, never mind. You were just walking. Okay, you were just...
I think I was just slow.
I think you were baiting him to like chase you. No, I'm kidding, bro. I don't know what happened there. I think you were just a little bit slow, yeah.
I'm just a little bit dumb. A little bit dumb and slow is all it is. Yeah, we f***ed this up.
I mean, you can't really kill her, honestly. Like, neither of you have what is it called? Like CC, like a stun or something like this. So the kill wasn't really gonna get there. But now you're actually in the perfect position in lane. And the reason I see this... sense? Because of resources, right? You have 2 resources. You have mana and you have health. She is completely drained from mana. So here, what you could do is actually just stand in her face and in this wave, press W, hold E, push the whole wave with E Tiamat, crash the wave into her turret, and proxy. And there's nothing she can do against it. That one too? No, bro. This is 21 gold right here, by the way. So even the like plus 15 is not gonna cut it, bro. This is some crazy thing.
That's 15 in the bank. All right, catch up, baby. I even missed that.
Okay, this is good.
Put a bullet through me. Oh my god.
This is okay. So she did hit level 8 now. That's the only down part. But trades like these are good, even if it's an equal health trade. Simply because you're draining her mana. Okay, lock in. I gotta lock in, okay? We go back to focus.
Lock in, bro. Lock in.
So now, what should you do? On
cannons.
What should you do on this wave?
Same thing we always do. Push that shit in.
Yes, here it's correct too. And then you can either look for her plate while she's standing on the turret, and else you just proxy the next wave. There's no counter for her. But you see here,
I have a confidence. I don't have a confidence and a swagger.
I also think you have 2 different intentions when playing here. I don't actually think you're thinking about pushing this wave and looking for proxy. I think you're about tentacles and actually you want to kill her. So you're looking for trades here. Where you're looking at your movement. Yeah, but so what's happening with... Oh, what the hell? You could actually one-shot this guy, I think. Oh, that's okay. Walking away is fine too. So I would be training with her here. Just with the... oh, never mind. There's still Silas. Wait, they're both pretty low on mana, so you should be fine. Yeah, you were completely fine. That's the thing. Neither of them have mana. So here, done. Did you also notice how little damage you were taking by their abilities? Because you pressed W.
They weren't doing shit.
That's because of
your
W.
They weren't doing shit to me.
Look how long this damage reduction lasts. This is the damage reduction. Look how long it lasts for. You see? That's all damage reduction.
Yeah, that's a long time. Is Garen still good?
Yeah, man. He's well, so, like in win rate right now, he's dropped quite a lot, but I still think he's very good. There is a challenger NA Garen main that also says that he still believes he's completely fine. So yes, I still think he's very good. I would still recommend playing Garen and Mundo.
You do some you got some hot takes too.
Okay, I'm curious.
I bought Warmogs once and got made fun of.
On Mundo.
Was it Mundo? I think so.
Well,
No, it was Garen.
What I'm listen, buddy. I've never told you to buy works on Garen's. so if you got made fun of,
you did this.
That's on you, buddy.
You said buy Warmogs. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe you didn't say Garen.
I've never told you to buy works on Garen, brother. You have
Did you say to not buy Warmogs on Garen though? Because I feel like, you know, if you're like, if you said buy Warmogs, like how am I as a man supposed to interpret what you meant?
I see. Well, maybe because your passive is like kind of Warmogs. That's like a starters.
Good point.
And
I'm getting why they made fun of me now.
yeah, if you build Warmogs on Garen, I'm fine putting the blame on me. But yeah, that is a. Oh, sorry. What did we forget here? We're forgetting something.
Tab.
Yeah. Okay, now you have it ingrained. I know you won't forget it anymore. But now we can't fight her anymore because she's too strong. So here, again, what do you reckon Alawi's doing?
Alawi? What you mean?
What do you think she's gonna do after pushing this wave?
Trying to push that backing?
Yeah. So what do you do?
Push that shit in as hard as I can, then find my back.
Or proxy.
Well, no, I can't proxy here because you can be walking back to lane, right?
True. But you can, like, if she is gonna stick on you, then she at least loses the full wave. So, but actually, here I wouldn't proxy. Here I would just actually want you to hard push this and set up your reset. That's fine.
I'm getting so mad watching past me not do the things you're saying to do.
That's completely fine because it's gonna only fuel you to start locking in on last hitting instead of playing for tentacles and playing for kills only. So,
Wait, we're at minute 10. How much CS do I have?
I don't know, bro. But we continue. Let's say it's slightly below the goalpost.
Slightly below. So this, you would consider this one below average?
Yes.
Okay, great. And the goal is 75, so yeah, just a little below.
Yeah, I mean...
What do you... is the game over? The game's just over then.
Well, the game is not over, but from here... You're playing, like, with very low economy. That's just it. So the game is just harder, you're delayed on your spikes. Realistically here, and I'm very confident on that, if your main goal here was... last hitting, focusing on setting up your resets, play with those level up timers, you can really hit, I believe, either next week, like this week or the week after, you're gonna have some games where you're gonna have 75 to 80 at minute 10. Guaranteed.
All right, last hit. I got you. I don't know why I have this aggression in me. Like who do I think I am trying to get these kills?
It's actually way more common than you think, so actually don't beat yourself up. But right now you see your gameplay as well that you're not even considering your opponent's reset. You see it here, right? The second time we're in the same position. And again, last time you did the exact same thing. You took a tentacle and now you're looking for the ward first. But the only thing you should be doing here is pushing this wave in as fast as possible to set up your own reset. But this is the second time you miss it. And look, now Alawi's back and you don't get your own reset. The reason I say it's the second time is because right here, we do the exact same thing. Take a look at how you play this, so you can get a better image. See here, I thought she's probably setting up a reset, right? Look at what we do. You see the exact same habit. We just gotta fix your habits and then you're good. So she's setting up a reset, and look, we're going for tentacles, and we're this one, and you're gonna go for a ward instead of pushing. You see?
Stupid guy.
It's fine because
he's not even focused on his lane states. Like, think about the fundamentals.
Think about that reset timer, buddy. And now she's back, and the exact same thing happens 3 minutes later. Now it's completely fine because now we know. It's like deja vu. So yeah, here these trades are never gonna work because you're always leveled down. Plus, she has these items. Roughly translates to you can't play the game.
I think what I didn't realize about this game is that it's actually much less a game about champions and skills and much more about like resource and resource management. And like it flips with a single buy. Like now she's stronger because she bought.
Yep. It's like turns in chess.
Yes. But like sometimes the chess, you just get extra pieces and I have to go back and get more pieces to be able to even fight. Like I just think like I should be able to beat her ass through my sheer will and skill and determination and love of the game.
Let me think. Is there any game that works like that? I'm trying to get like an analogy.
Valorant.
Valorant. This is just
if you're playing Valorant, you can buy any gun and you can shoot someone in their skull and they will explode into a billion pieces.
Okay.
If you just aim good enough.
Fair. We're playing a MOBA here though. It's a different playing field.
I know. I'm not used to that.
But it's like saying you're buying in an eco round against a full bot round, no utility, and you expect to win the game. I've never played Valorant. I just know CS, so that's the best analogy I can come up with.
No, I mean it's the same thing in CS, yeah. But like sometimes you do that. Like it's possible, but it's not possible in this game. Like you can buy like a deagle and you can just kill 5 people with AKs. It's possible.
Yeah, in CS it's different, yeah. League of Legends is a very snowball-heavy game. I mean, that draws back to the first statement. Your first 4 waves are by far the most important. The rest of your laning phase is kind of gonna hang on that. But one thing I want you to notice here. You see alois CS? Hers is below average.
Wait. Oh, I didn't know you could look at it. Oh, this is only because we can see it in the VOD review, right?
No, if you click on her, you're clicking on her, we see her items, you can see her CS. And if you press tab, you can see her CS as well.
Oh, yeah, you can. Yeah. Okay.
So she's at 61. If you, instead of trying to play so trade aggressive, had just only focused on last hitting, you would be winning lane right now, as silly as that sounds.
It's almost like you're just fighting for future you.
That is actually very well said, because you're looking to scale with the champions you're playing. If you want to play super fight heavy, right? There are champions that complement that playstyle. So, but you'd have to really know what you're doing too. You're gonna have to play a champion like Darius, Olaf, Riven is a pretty good example to really try and kill your opponents and snowball from that. But then you're not.
My Renekton does that shit.
Yeah, Renekton's a good example.
My
too.
Renekton. Yeah, because I'm farming 50 Fury. You know I'm hitting my Empowered W. Like, my combos are nasty. But,
I'm curious to see a Renekton game now.
you know, we can skip them, but that makes... I think this is it is genuinely a mentality gap. Well, so for some background on me, I used to be a competitive Super Smash Bros. Player. I used to be like a very... I was like top 50. And so, you know, like you want to just scrap. You just want to fight against the person.
I see, yeah. That makes sense. But yeah, in League of... It's just...
not how it works.
No, it's a turn-based game, kind of, regarding tempo and like your resets. And then you play with the amount of resources that you have paired with like your champion, right? Like all champions have different skills and like good positions in the game. Your mentality makes sense, but what I'm seeing is an alois with, let's just say 2.2k gold spent in items, and you only have 1.5k gold spent, paired with the fact that she's gonna hit a level 9 here, which is another like say 600 gold here. So that like you can have as much willpower as you want, but the only way you're winning this skirmish is her disconnecting from the game.
That's a good point. That's fair. I mean, it's true.
And now we're kind of stuck in lane. Good sidestep. And yeah, I mean, that result was just happening because you're just too weak. That's all. So when looking back at this game, I think it kind of is simplistic on what you have to work on, right? Mostly a switch in mindset and working on that blueprint, because once you're gonna start working on level up timers, it's a very simple concept, but it's not gonna be that easy. And I want you to first focus on your level up timers. So knowing the exact timers in which you're gonna level up and trying to use them. But the next step to that is also playing to your opponent's level up timers, knowing exactly when they're gonna hit theirs. And then I want you to start thinking more, like once you have that ingrained as an automatic habit, I want you to start thinking more about jungle pathing and the tracking of the junglers.
Do you have a goal of when you want to get the turret by? Like a dream world?
I mean, this is dependent on the champion that you play. I don't want to take it too early because then my opponent can kind of just farm for free because you can't really do anything else on the map. I'd say around minute 12, minute 14. If you can get around that time, that's absolutely perfect. Here, I think it's just best to cut this VOD, to not talk too much more about it. From this point onwards, I don't think you can really control the game. You're playing Flash Teleport, we have a Doran's Blade, and oh, look who it is. We're playing against alois again. Oh man,
Snake. That snake.
But you already see, this guy's playing different. This guy went for Q start, right? Same matchup? Well, you're playing a different...
Wait, how do you know? How do you know?
This is her Q. This right here is her Q.
The tentacle? The slam?
This slam, yeah, this is her Q.
What did she start before?
The W, where she was like slamming you on your skull, remember? It was like a shorter range slam on you, like an auto attack.
Okay,
that's her W.
Yeah.
And the thing like we'll just call it the ventriloquist or whatever that's called, like I can't even pronounce that. That's her E. Okay, so that's her Q. It's longer cooldown and it's like an AoE spell. Two things. It looks like echo. Oh, sorry.
I'm already watching me go for a tentacle and I want to shoot the guy on the screen.
Hey, your words, not mine, Brent. You are locked in on this tentacle, bro.
I know, like a fucking dog to a bone.
Let's get back to like the theory, like the fundamentals, right? So right now, we didn't get a level 1 ward down, so I actually have no idea where enemy jungle's pathing. So we're playing somewhat blindfolded. Yeah. We do know Echo's coming to top side, so in that regard, we're happy. We know we're gonna at least have some assistance here. Now we just go back to this. Can I play for level 1? Well, you're ranked with a Doran's Blade. I would say we can into an alois. And then it's a matter of trying to play for our level up timer. Now, the reason I'm going over this a little bit fast is because depending on the champions you're going to be playing, for example, Mundo, like whenever you're going to be playing Mundo, I will tell you right now, it's going to be very simplistic. Let yourself get pushed in every single game and just last it with your Qs and just focus on that. When you're playing Garen, we can go for E-start and try to see if we can get priority in some matchups. And when you're playing Renekton, very often your intention should be to look for priority because your Q is a relatively low cooldown ability, which deals AoE. And the second you get your level 2, you can get a lot of trade opportunities. So it's dependent on your champion too, but that's okay. So now I would want you to actually, I mean, don't go for this. we want to go for this, Q the wave maybe, and her, get our bone plating, and try to set up our level 2 trait. Okay, let's see what we do instead. Alright, we're in theory. Tentacles down. Oh, there's a new one. Oh, bro, okay. But now the wave is kind of pushed in already, because she's gonna hit her level 2 here. Because we have, look, sure, you got our bone plating out, but this mean is gonna get her level 2. So now we kind of have to concede priority, and you can't trade anymore.
If I hit this tentacle, I want you to turn this game off right now.
Okay, honestly, that's the deal. I think you're tempted. Like, it's going through your mind right now.
I'm literally tempted, bro.
Okay. Oh,
this
you got some discipline.
I hate the person I see. There we go. Good
it's just,
shit.
yeah, this was good. But I don't want to extend this trait because she's level 2. So here we lose our HP for meaning that it's pretty much illegal. The wave is coming towards you anyways, right? So why are we so you're not forced to walk up here. That's the thing. So we get hit by a W, we get hit by a Q, and now you get hit by another Q. And now I already say that your game is gonna be very tricky to play. Now what alois did to you here is what you can also do to your opponents when you actually play for the priority, right? That's all.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna fault you for this. It's just getting to experience what that level up timer can really do for you. Paired with us not, you know, dodging any of her Qs, and now you're just, oh, wait a second. You're not playing with Smartcast?
What's that?
Right, you see, you
know what?
This. You have to like stand still. Like look at the movement. Actually, when you look at it, you have to like stand still, hold it, E, see the indicator. Look, you're standing still for like a half a second here, right? Then you E forward, and look how light that E afterwards is.
I didn't even need to. Yeah, I could have just walked away at that point.
Look at this. What do you think you're looking at? You're not going for it though.
It's slow.
You're not going for it though, so it's good. You're not going for this. Oh, you're not going for the tentacle. On her level 3. Okay, this alois punish you maximum. Do you remember what the level up timer to level 3 is?
It is 2 full waves plus. Okay, it's 1 full wave or 5 minions plus a melee, then 2 waves plus a melee.
2 melees actually. Okay. Close, but you see here, one of your melees has actually already died because you see she has 3, you have 2. So on this melee, she is getting her level 3.
Respectfully, I don't see that even a little bit.
I understand, because you're not used to it, right? But I'm going to highlight this to showcase that is because right now you're not focusing on wave states and level up timers. You're kind of focusing on wanting to trade and having that kill mentality. That's why like all your brain power is going, probably. And tentacles. Yeah, and tentacles as well.
And tentacles is about 40%.
But first focus on your level up timers. Like I said, that's the first step, seeing it for yourself. But I can see right here that she is going to hit level 3 from this melee. And that means that I am never walking up here because I know I'm going to take a terrible trade from that. Because look right here. You walk up for this. On the second, she hits her level 3. So she W's you and then lands her E because she has just gotten it. Plus the Q. And your game is over. Basically, you walked in...
if you're the alois right now, this is your video. Like, I can already hear you saying the lane is won, fundamentos, it's over. Learn your level up timers.
You walked into her level 2 and you walked into her level 3. It's proof of concept.
Yeah.
So you're making my point. Thank you, sir.
Skip this game. It's a f***ing alois game. Skip this game. Go to my Mundo game. I actually think it's important you watch this.
As I can see from I think this game, the first game we watched, is a great example of a lot of things you're currently doing habitually wrong. This game. I think it showcased kind of everything that I want you to start working on right now. So I think when we look at other games of you right now in top lane, you're going to be doing the same things you did in this game. So I think what would then probably be the most sensible thing is you playing more top lane games and start integrating all the things we talked about.
Well, I guess question for you.
Yes.
Should I even be playing top lane?
Now, see, my own bias will say yes, but I also will say that I haven't seen you play jungle. I will say, right now, you don't know the kits of every top lane champion. You seem very lost. There's that. You're less experienced in top lane. If you want to get to platinum in 3 months, then you better play the role you're most capable at. But I haven't seen you really play jungle, and I'm also, like, I'm not a jungler myself, so I think a jungler can make that judgment better.
So my issue with top lane is there are so many champions, and I feel like I run into one, and it doesn't take one game to learn the champ. You know, it takes like 2-3 games to I feel like fully grasp maybe like how they play and how to beat them. Like, you know, I feel like if I run into an alois now, I'm good, but it might not be an alois. Like I ran into a Vladimir, and man, bro, it was the worst experience of my life, bar none. It was my, you know, and this is gonna sound harsh, my modern day 911. It was horrible. He got 250 CS by minute like 20.
Oh,
You know, that it's insane. I don't know how he did that. He had double my CS by minute like 8, and I didn't even think I was farming that bad. But like, that's just because I didn't understand the pool thing very well. And I think that happens a lot in top lane where you just get like beaten in a matchup you don't know. But that doesn't happen in jungle because I get to play my own single player game.
yeah. So then the question is, do you feel like you have the same issues when playing jungle? If the answer is no, your progression curve in jungler is probably faster then, because you don't have to deal that much with understanding their kits because you're just playing kind of your own game. But then I would also say is whenever you're going to be ganking a Vladimir, and you don't know his kits, you're also kind of playing blindfolded, right? So
Right.
I don't know how much that like translate, but you're probably gonna have an easier time in terms of stepping stone than playing jungle than you were to be playing top lane.
Can I ask you a question then?
Yeah, absolutely.
What, as a top laner, do you look for in your jungler?
The only thing that I want my jungler to do is that whatever side he decides to path towards, he just, I just want my jungler to path efficient and to, oh, that's such a good question. What would I want my jungler to do? Honestly, don't int my laner. That's the first. And if, let's say, my jungler paths to bot and they play for the bot lane, just at least make sure they go even or ahead on that side, especially if I'm weak-sided, and play for neutrals whenever they can. That's it.
Do you want them to come gank you? Like, do you relish in that?
Yes, but it's so situationally dependent. Yes, I want ganks, and I prefer to not be weak-sided. But for example, if I'm Mundo top and I have a bot lane like a Kalista Nautilus, something that really wants to fight, or like a Draven, then I'd rather have my jungler play bot lane and just let me do my scaling farming thing in top lane.
But if you're playing Camille, you might want them to come top.
Yes, exactly. Like I would much if I have a, let's say, a matchup that is way more volatile, I would want my jungler to play more around me too, as a win condition. I feel like it's a good thought process to have, but I wouldn't go too in depth on that. Like I think as a jungler, your main goal should be farming efficiently, playing for neutrals, and just, you know, making sure you set up your own proactive plays whenever you can, and that's it. Oh, and don't invade without lane priority. That's a very important one too.
What does that mean?
So let's say your jungler right now is invading his blue buff and your lane looks like this, and your jungler dies and blames you. You wanna like shoot him in the face because you don't have priority, so how can you move here?
So when a jungler invades, they should expect their top, if you had lane priority, to join?
They can expect you to join, yes. So let's say enemy jungler right now is invading this red buff. LUDWIG can always move first because she has nothing to do in top lane, right?
Right.
So yes, that's lane priority. I do think it's important for you to make that decision, regardless if you're gonna play jungle or top. I think you're leaning towards jungle, right? By the sound of it.
Well, the thing that I like about jungle is I don't have to worry about last hitting, which maybe is just because I had a couple bad habits, and if I just fixed it and focused on it, it wouldn't be as big of a problem. I don't have to worry about matchups. Like I can kind of just play a one-player game, and it's like playing Harvest Moon or Animal Crossing. Like it's great. I just kill my farms when the yellow dots are on my map. The issue, I think, is that the jungle role becomes very important in team fights later on, and I think that requires a lot of like responsibility. Like you can individually lose your team the game instantly if you die as jungler, because then you can't get an objective, or you know, you can't initiate a team fight. But I feel like top lane later on, at least when I watch like, you know, you or other top laners, you can just kind of do your own, like you're playing a single game. I feel like later on, like I feel like you're just fucking side splitting, hitting towers and shit, and you're getting your team a lot of map space. But if you die doing that, but you get like a tower, you know, it's not like maybe the worst thing in the world. Like your death isn't the end of the game. So I feel, you know what I mean? So I feel like there's less pressure later on for top lane if you do your job at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
But for jungle, there's more pressure the later the game goes on. Like by minute 35, like your death literally loses your team the game, I feel like instantly sometimes.
Yeah, that can be for the top laner as well though, but I understand you have smite, right? So you get caught once, Baron is gone, kind of.
Yeah, Baron's gone, or you know, Soul Dragon is gone, and I also feel like the junglers I play have ults that initiate team fights, and most tops don't. Like I guess they're tanks, so they're important for team fights, but they won't initiate the team fight most of the time. Yeah. Unless that's wrong.
If I were to, let's say, order the difficulty of roles from like 1 to 5, I would say, or let's say from easiest to hardest, I would say easiest is support, then probably mid lane, then I would say jungle, then AD carry, then top lane. I would consider, in terms of stepping stone, top lane to be the hardest because it's most punishing if you make a mistake.
Early on, right?
Yes, because of like wave states and stuff like this. It's also more rewarding in a way. At least that's how I see it. The higher elo you go, all the way to challenger, top is usually considered the most useless role. But up until that point, if you are individually better than your opponent, or you're playing more consistent and like you're getting your resources, you're always going to be a threat in the game. Top lane, because it is considered the weakest role in the game, in my opinion, but I think everybody agrees with this, has the strongest champions in the game. Like a Mundo, like a Garen, like a Naz, these champions are complete powerhouses. So if you're able to farm well and be consistent in the laning phase, you're always going to be a threat. But I will be very forward with that as well, as I believe it is the hardest role to get familiar with as well. I think if you really want to get, let's say, platinum in 3 months, the easiest route is probably actually support. Yeah, you have to like fight not falling asleep, pretty much.
Yeah, support kind of sucks, man. Well, I think ADC is the least fun role.
Probably, because you're most reliant on like your environment. Like if you have a bad support, it already sucks. I think what I'd recommend
you know what? I think...
Yeah, sorry?
Yeah, go ahead. No, please. You go.
Is to try top lane for maybe a few more days if you want to. Invest on it and play only Garen Mundo, I would recommend. Try working on the main goal of getting to last hitting. Focus on your own level up timers and then working on reset timers. And what I mean with working on reset timers is whenever you're in a position like this, I want you to kind of think ahead with the wave state. So when you're in this position in a future time, what I want you to think about is, okay, the wave is currently being pushed into me. That means in about a minute from now, the wave is going to push away from me again, right? And I want to make sure that I'm always in a good spot whenever the wave is pushing away from me again, so that I can crash the wave into his turret and set up my reset timer. So those 3 things combined. Looking for good CS, looking for your level up timers, thinking basically in advance, trying to set up your bounce timers and your reset timers. And I am certain that if you just do those things and not even get solo kills, you're going to win your lane a lot more often and feel a lot better playing top lane.
You know what's crazy? I know everything you told me just now, but until you grabbed me by the scruff of my neck like a dog and showed me how I was just a kill horny I didn't realize that it applied to me.
Well, it's just the funniest way to put that. But you'll be surprised with how many students I've just had in general, where the main concern was not necessarily, let's say, their mechanics or anything like this. It was genuinely me seeing that all they were thinking about is solo killing their opponent. That's where all their brain power goes towards and all their intentions.
Did you have that problem? Like, is this because this must be like a human thing? It's a condition.
Well, I think you have players as well. So yesterday I coached somebody else, and for him it was the opposite. He was very happy just going even. So he was playing very trade avoidant, completely trade avoidant. And all he wanted to do was just go even, and then he was fine. So I feel like you kind of have both ends of the spectrum. People that just only want to kill their opponent, have full kill mentality, and people that play too safe. You kind of want to be in between. Yeah. And learn to play around that strong side, weak side, and find the balance.
Well, I think, look, my game plan today, I think I'm going to power through a dozen games. I'm going to try just ripping a bunch of top games and then see, you know? And if I'm running into several champs I don't know, or I am, you know, maybe finding it to be more difficult, I go jungle. But if I just am crushing lanes and focusing on last hits, maybe I just join the top legion.
I think that sounds perfect. That's what my recommendation would be as well. And then I would keep it maximum a week and then kind of make your decision, because it's time for you to lock in. I want you to get platinum and succeed.
Yeah, I gotta lock in. No, I'm probably gonna make the decision by end of this weekend.
Yep, I think that's good.
All right, gamer.
All right, sir. Well, thank you for your time, and I wish you the best.
Thank you for your time
on your journey. What I will say as well is that if you have any questions in between, genuinely feel more than free to just reach out, and that could be in terms of like I don't know, item, matchup, trade. What you can also do is just get like a clip and tell me, what should I have done here? How did I end up in this position? And I happily help you out.
Can I ask you one last question?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna phrase this differently. Based off what you've seen from me today, how much time do you think I would need to put in on a weekly or daily basis to be able to hit plat?
You're gonna have to become a full-on addict to get platinum in 3 months. Else, that guy will not have to eat a shoe.
We talking like an hour a day, 2 hours a day?
No, I'm talking like probably like, I don't know how much time you have, but you're gonna have to play like at least 6 games a day. Like you're gonna have to, you're gonna have to play
That's
this
like
game
3
a lot.
hours.
This game is it's like a life investment. It's like a smoking addiction. Nobody in the right mind, generally speaking, will advise you to play League of. If you come to any person that's played League of Legends for a long time, you ask them, should I start playing League of Legends? Most people will say no. Now I humbly disagree, but most people will say no simply because it requires a lot of time investment and focus to start getting towards those higher ranks. That's the fact. It helps you speed up your progress, but you're just gonna need to invest time. So I think 6 games a day ballpark.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. You know what? I needed to hear that. I'm locked in.
All right, let's go,
I
man.
appreciate it. I'm off to game. I'll send you my highlight clips because there will be many of them, and you know, hopefully make you proud.
Let's go, man. All right.
All right.
Enjoy the remainder of your day, man. Thank you so much.
Hey, you too.